Porky's Corner is proud to be sponsored by Spartan Site Solutions. They are specialists in civil engineering and demolition contracts for the construction industry. Interested parties should visit their website or contact Porky's Corner for a referral at porkycorner@mail.com.
From the beginning, we condition our children to a defective sense of identity. When you are a child, your parents are very anxious to define you.
Rastafari.
We condition the child in a way that sets the child a life problem which is insoluble,
Place an order for delivery, please.
and therefore attended by constant frustration. And as a result of this problem being insoluble, it is perpetually postponed to the future.
Dance in boxing.
Anybody want a biscuit, anybody? Like a biscuit?
You're knackered, aren't you?
Man, I deal with no foolishness, Jodlaps. Man, I deal with no foolishness.
It's no good, is it?
He's obviously got that close connection with his family and his dad.
Probably means I'm going to turn into him when I get older.
Fat, P-H-A-T.
Which is a shame or it isn't, depending how you look at it.
Pretty hot and tempting.
Have you ever seen the film Braveheart? Remember the old man in the loft? Yes. The leper. I'm him.
Elba, I hate skin on fries. Should just be a crisp chip, nothing on them, bit of salt. Do you know what I mean?
Johnny Fisher's dad.
What's his name again, mister?
What is his dad called anyway? Bosch, the Bosch father.
Fighting. It's a very sexy risk.
Problem with John Fury is it's almost as if he wants to be front and centre of everything.
I see a good neck, good pair of shoulders, good back on him, a muscled up fighter's body.
There's this mystique around John Fury that he's like the ultimate guy on the cobbles.
Because I'm bred to do it. Feet, elbows, teeth, head. Nobody out there can say he beat John Fury, no one.
John Fury went on about his time as a gangland enforcer in Manchester.
On the hard road, my family were watching me from the moon.
No, they're not watching you from the moon yourself, man.
You've got basically his dad running around, stealing on the limelight, making everything about him.
This is boxing.
It's not just about boxing. It's about a lot of other things.
I want to dance. Michelle.
This mythology that's going to build up around John Fury.
I want to be able to get up and dance in public.
He claimed he never lost a bare knuckle bout.
How boxing got to this?
If you beat a guy in a bare knuckle for 100 grand, wouldn't you remember his name?
We just keep on running into brick walls.
That wall made of chocolate biscuits.
Fucking Chinese.
I mean, we know he got knocked out in the boxing ring. Maybe he's not the ultimate guy in the cobbles, and maybe he never was.
I can't take that.
You can't verify what he did the way you can verify what he did in his professional boxing career.
Gonna bend your girlfriend over and do a electro in front of you.
Money. You're living vicariously through your sons. You never accomplished anything.
I knew a little girl to whom someone gave a bunny rabbit.
Ugly little man, rabbit.
She was so delighted with the bunny rabbit and so afraid of losing it that taking it home in the car, she squeezed it to death with love. And lots of parents do that to their children. They hold on too hard. And so take the life out of this transient, beautifully fragile thing that life is. To have it, to have life, this can happen only if you let go.
No. I'm in charge. I will not in charge because you're an idiot. Dad, shut up and sit down. No. Next. You're gonna get cut, you idiot.
Sooner or later, there comes a point in a man's life when he's got to face some facts. And one fact I got to face.
What is going on?
The Bosch father.
I got hurt enough. I don't want to get hurt no more.
Why is he on a billboard then?
I'm Big John, I do what I fucking want.
Once they become a loud voice, they got to go.
Did you write him a letter?
Yeah.
What did that letter say that you wrote to him?
I said to him, I am the boss. He said, I'm the boss, I want to do it my way now. That broke him. My experience put him in a place he could never have got to.
What they tend to forget is I've got them to where they are today. It's got to come from somewhere. It's come from me.
He had been in charge of who I fought, my financials, my contract. Tyrant, I'm the tyrant. The question I ask myself is, what is pain?
Big strong man.
I have a 31-year-old brother. He is buried in the desert in Dubai. That's pain. I have his son, Raheem, 3 years old. He asks, why can't I see my daddy? That's pain. My own father, a man I idolized for my entire life, he doesn't speak to me. We haven't spoken for years. And he thinks I'm a disgrace. These things are what pain is to me.
Who is going to be there if Eubank Jr. isn't making the weight safely? Who will pull him out of the fight? Why aren't you with Eubank Jr.? Why aren't you part of the fight week activities? Why aren't you in the corner?
You must be mad. I would never be in your corner.
It's funny, that word, abandon. There are people like that who just aren't hung up. They don't carry burdens around. They're free.
You can't separate, business and boxing from just being my dad. Right now, I don't need an advisor. I don't need a coach. I don't need a mentor. I just need a dad.
I got told off by my sons a few times. You post too much on Instagram. What you got to realise is I post on Instagram for myself. First and foremost, it's purely for me.
Yeah. I'm doing it for me.
He smashes an egg on the face of Conor. This is what you call legacy? That's not legacy.
It's legacy, isn't it? Legacy. Chris.
That is bringing the game of boxing into disrepute. That of which would have been...
Chris, isn't it?
Legacy.
Ask, you will receive. Knock and the door will open. But if you knock the wrong door, nothing's opening.
Somebody wants honey food?
Bosh! Please welcome Chris Eubank Jr.
The South-style Gypsy King is the heavyweight champion of the world. Now believe in John Fury.
A moment of a lifetime. I'm so proud of that boy of mine. I'm so grateful for your tenacity, for your strength of character.
Do you know what made Chris Eubank Sr. decide to come? Oh, really?
Let's keep the romance.
Okay.
Love.
I'm your dad. I would fight for you. I'm never going to change no matter what you do.
I've got nothing better to do to look out for my kids. And that's what I'm going to do to my days end. And that's all before a pan of stew on the hot fire.
My dad's a very, very big part of it because no one wants better for you than your dad. And you've got to have people like that around you, people who've got your interests at heart.
I said to Junior, I only want one thing. I'm thinking, oh no. One eye looked up there, one eye went there. It's in my head, but I didn't want to say it. And that one thing is for Jaffa King. Don't laugh, because this is the human condition. You have to always back your son. Every dad has to go through this rite of passage where the son is actually saying, I'm going to do it my way. And every father reacts the same. My son, I love you. I'll always be here for you. I rest.
I've tried to do the best I can, be a good father, so the kids can look up to me and say, my dad's a strong man. They can depend on me. And I'm very proud of every one of them. I'm a lucky man. It gives me, I think they call it endorphins. I'm welling up now.
Roast up Chinese style.
Hello and welcome back to the number one podcast in the sport where we need to have a little chat about Anthony Joshua.
Hey!
That's such a long time ago, isn't it? When he was the lad's favourite. He was the Brits' favourite. He was your auntie's favourite, your nan's favourite, your grandmother's favourite, everything. And for about a decade, the Joshua machine, the Joshua project was such a well-oiled machine, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant machine. And it worked. It's made him a millionaire, 9 figures to his name comfortably. Him and Tyson Fury will never need to box again, never need to work again. Their kids will never have to work again. And they have the potential to move their families so far up society's ladder that, you know, they may get vertigo. So all that stuff is absolutely brilliant. So it makes the last year and a bit surreal, right? Because we all remember when Hearn would literally tell us, Josh is fighting twice this year, on this date, on that date, we've got the venues booked, and they'd sell tickets before we even knew who he was fighting, right? They could switch opponents and fans wouldn't complain. They could do anything with Anthony Joshua. Until he lost. And then they rebuilt him, and he came back, and it was like, okay, no, there's still a bit of cheese on the pizza left, right? So you're like, okay, cool. And then Usyk basically erodes any notion that Joshua's a dominant heavyweight and a generational heavyweight. You know, Usyk literally just steps over him twice on his way to being the best heavyweight in the division and maybe the best of his generation. Okay. And so we're like, okay, at least Joshua will give us some entertaining fights, Wilder, Fury, and he'll see his way off to the sunset, a stupidly rich man. That's what we thought. And what happened? His ego wouldn't let him avoid Daniel Dubois, the one kid who's had no other ambition other than to knock Joshua clean out. Joshua was the one guy that could pull everything out of Daniel Dubois. The hunger, the intensity, the drive, and probably should have avoided that fight. And he gets turned into a poster. Face plants after a knockout, and you know, let's not revel in that too much. But everything since that moment has confused the boxing world. The well-crafted stories, the interviews, the propaganda, everything that we ever had from Eduardo, from Eddie Hearn. You know what I mean? All of that stuff.
Eddie.
All of that seems to have just fallen out the window. No talk of an offer being made to Fury. We're not hearing, we've offered Tyson $50 million for 2 fights. We're not hearing anything. And I know people say, he'll just leave it to Turkey. He doesn't have to. Hearn, in theory, could make that fight, right? Because he's done it before, where he's told us, look, we'll make Wilder versus Joshua for Wembley, biggest fight in the world, right? This is what Hearn does, global promoter, and all of that. We haven't heard a peep, really. If anything, all we've had for the last year and a bit is utter confusion. So if you go back a year ago, do you remember Hearn was like, AJ wants the rematch, 100% wants the rematch with Daniel. He wants to do it again, make right what he made wrong. He knows where he went wrong. He feels he can stop Daniel Dubois, all that sort of stuff. Doesn't think Daniel's as good as him. And we remember that, okay, AJ's going to avenge the KO. And people are like, well, what about the Fury fight? We will do that afterwards. And then we'll see where his career goes. He might stop after that. And I remember this. This was everything that Hearn was saying. And if you remember, the talk was, do you know what? Anthony Joshua's been inactive. This is the problem. We need more activity. And end of last year, Hearn was like, Joshua will fight twice in 2025. Dubois rematch as early as possible. And then we'll fight Fury in the summer. Big stadium fight. Yada, yada, yada. So that's what he's saying at that point. And so that's what we're conditioned to believe. And we're like, yeah, okay. I fully get it. Nice. Right? 2 fights, 2025. We're coming to the end of 2025 and there have been absolutely 0 fights. Let me say that again. 0 fights. And if you go back to the beginning of the year and people said, look at him. He thinks he's a body language expert. When I said, Joshua doesn't seem like the same guy anymore. I remember saying that. He hadn't been in the gym, which is rare for Anthony Joshua. Hadn't been in the gym, hadn't been hitting anything, and it wasn't down to an injury. He was just reacting badly to that loss, right? Well, we thought he was. It turns out there might have been something else that was on his mind. Definitely something else that was on his mind. Should we touch on it later on? Because people need to put the pieces together themselves, but if I can just plant some of the seeds, leave some of the breadcrumbs there, hopefully you guys can do the rest. Like, you know, I don't know how hard I have to signpost this for all you guys, man. Start being investigators. I mean, people are so quick to dig into my business, but when I start talking about stuff like this, even though...
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
Exactly. I don't want to be in trouble, but you got to say these things, right? By the way, what's the point of having a soundboard if I don't use a soundboard? So forgive me. But you started to get the impression Joshua was done. And I remember there was a point where Hearn was like, this might be AJ's final year in boxing. Well, he hasn't fought this year, so he might have been right. And so all we've had in 2025 is confusion. Who's he going to fight? Don't really know. Oh, now he's had to have surgery, or he's come out swinging, and he's been quite tetchy in interviews. He's even bitten at Kugan Cassius. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Talk about biting the guy that was there before the fame. So surreal. I mean, because no one was really explaining what was happening, and you're looking at this and you're like, well, Turkey wants to make AJ versus Fury. Neither guy's budging on that. You can speak to Spencer Brown. He's like, yeah, Fury's happily retired. Then he's not. Then he is. Joshua's like, I want to fight again, but I'll go get my elbow done. And I believe the elbow surgery story. But then we started to see him traveling here, there, and everywhere. And people were like, oh, this means he's going to fight in Africa. Right? And that didn't happen at all. You start to hear rumors throughout 2025 that he was turning fights down. Big Baby Miller. Wilder offered him a fight. You know, Wilder said, let me get match fit and we'll fight. Nope. Thanks, but no thanks. Zhilei Zhang offered one. Thanks, but no thanks. And so you're starting to wonder what's going on here. And then you start to hear the rumors that maybe AJ's relocated. Maybe Anthony Joshua has left the UK for good. And some might say, yeah, the UK is bad vibes. But was that really the case? I don't think so.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
So as boxing fans, we're not used to this with Anthony Joshua. We're used to absolute clarity. Here are the three people who are going to fight him in the first half of the year. Here are the three people that could fight him in the second half of the year. We've heard bullshit us, and we're used to all the
lies.
We're used to the nonsense. And so when I look at all of this, my question is, what is going on in Anthony Joshua's world? Everything seems to have gone to pot. 258, what do 258 really do? Nothing, right? They manage a few guys here and there, but it's not a business empire. It was a way to keep everything in-house for Anthony Joshua, which I reckon in the long run has cost him more money than it saved him. And now he's on the outside looking in. The heavyweight division's moved on. The heavyweight division's moved on a lot, okay? Usyk's now the man, and whatever people want to say, Usyk's not Turkey's cup of tea. Because Usyk's not a big character, he's not great with the English, he's not someone that the Saudis can use to leverage their ambitions. They can't, right? They could do it with Fury, they could do it with Joshua, because they're English speakers, it works. And so now Turkey's like, what do I need these guys for? If they don't want to fight, I'm not here begging them, right? We'll just move on. Like, it's going to save me a load of money. We'll just elevate new people. And so that's been the story, probably up until July, right? And then at that point, you're like, I don't think Joshua's going to fight this year. He can't fight. He's just trying to move out to Dubai, move his operation out to Dubai was what I was hearing. That's why I knew Ben Davison was done with Joshua, because it was like, well, why doesn't he just go and train in the UK? And then, you know, and they were just like, they tried to say stuff like, it's about the number of days for tax reasons. And I was like, really? Really? And then you start wondering, is that really the case? But as it stands right now, Anthony Joshua has about 7 weeks to get a fight in 2025. Realistic dates are probably just December 20th in Ghana. That might be the only one that he can do, depending on how fit he is. And even then, is he really match fit? Secondly, who are you going to get in the ring with? What, Richard Lartey? No one cares about that. Or the old dude that Dillian fought, Ebenezer Tete. No one cares about that. So how are you going to find someone that makes it worth your while to fight? That's the key question. And is there anything left in Anthony Joshua after years of toil and sacrifice? Probably not. But what's really, really interesting about the whole Joshua thing is at no point has Eddie Hearn talked about Joshua fighting in the UK. It will be easy money. They've sold out the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium twice for Ben Eubank. Joshua will sell out the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You could have him at the O2. It's still lucrative having Anthony Joshua back in the UK. So why isn't he in the UK? Why isn't Hearn talking about Joshua boxing in the UK? I reckon Hearn's been given the stern word that there are no more UK fights. So that leaves Africa, and realistically that leaves the Middle East. Most likely Saudi. And everyone's saying, why? Why is Anthony Joshua so reluctant to come back to the UK? There's a valid argument to say tax reasons. I don't know what the law is. Is it 90 days? Was he given foresight that there might be an exit tax, so he's just got his affairs in order now? Because Hearn lives in Monaco now for tax reasons, right? And also, I don't think Hearn spends 90 days in the UK. If you look at how he travels, he probably doesn't. So Monaco's ideal for him because it means he pays absolutely no taxes. Maybe sometimes you've just got to get away from a country and hope they forget you. Because once people start looking back and going, weren't those things a bit strange? Wasn't it odd that a multi-millionaire world champion will be walking into hood street parties, hooded up, yeah, in his plastic hood, wherever it was? You'd find him in house parties with kids at least 10 years younger than he is. And you're like, what are you doing there? All this local boy come good stuff, this whole I live with my mum still, all this was all lies, man. He's been living in a mansion for as long as he could afford one. So when you're watching all these videos, and you have to follow the guy on Snapchat to really understand this, like, he's just around youngsters. You rarely see Joshua amongst his peers. And he's around youngsters. So that was always like, why is he always around youngsters? What's he doing? And there's a whole thing of, he's just giving back to the community, inspiring. Let me say that again. Inspiring the next generation. You're like, maybe. Okay. Anthony Joshua, yeah. You're inspiring the next generation.
You know that Anthony Joshua? You got anything to say about this shit?
There you go. Inspiring the next generation. Was that what was really happening? Because if that's what was really happening, the local mums would be talking about the positive effect Anthony Joshua's had on his area. What's it called? Garston? I don't know. Garforth? Don't know what it's called. We're 13 plus years since he won an Olympic gold medal. When's the last time you heard anyone in that community speak highly of Anthony Joshua? This dude's showing up at hood barbecues, right? And so you're thinking to yourself, how is a man with that much money able to walk around like this freely? How are you walking around freely? Because I tell you this for absolute nothing. Me as a 17-year-old seeing someone with that much money, if they're slipping, I'm taking what I want. And if you don't believe me, why did his AP get snatched? And I'm not saying anything that people don't know. When his AP got snatched in Battersea, yeah, they put the machete through the window, said, hand it over, and he handed it over. There was no resistance. Kids are like, you're lucky we're going to let you keep that Range Rover. And man, we're like, you know what I mean? In the car, like, don't you know who this is? We don't care. Yeah, hand it over. And man just handed the watch over. Now, was that the point where Joshua converted to whatever you want to call the dark side? I don't know. But very strange that he's been able to seemingly move without protection. When you watch someone like Floyd Mayweather, who I'd put in the same kind of income bracket and fame bracket, look at what he has around him. People say Mike Tyson doesn't have bodyguards. Oh, he does when it matters. I promise you that. Mike Tyson has security. Sometimes it's to protect the public from Mike, but he has security. Manny Pacquiao goes to the Philippines, he has security. Anthony Joshua, sometimes the security is hidden, by the way. Sometimes it's off camera, you don't see it, but he has security. Now, who provides that security is the question. Is that why he's in Dubai? It's just a question. Is that why he's in Dubai?
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
This is what the camera crew need to be asking. Because the move to Dubai was sudden. Now, normally, if you follow Joshua's career, stuff is kind of breadcrumbed for you. Like, he'll hint at stuff. Like, he might say, do you know what? I'm thinking of moving out to Dubai. I like it here. Bring the family up here. Instead, he's left his son that he loves dearly, his mum that he loves dearly, his sisters he loves dearly, the community he says he carried on his back. He left everything at the drop of a hat. And not once, and you know, I've been to Watford. Not once are you hearing the local mothers go, we miss him. So why is that? Just some questions. If you Google the area he's from and see what those kids are up to, just very interesting that it seems to be getting a bit more, you fill in the word, around there. The temperature's turned up. And if you talk to people in the kind of northwest London to Watford corridor, they're happy to tell you that Anthony Joshua's name is being put into conversations you wouldn't believe. Conversations a world champion shouldn't be involved in. Not since Mike Tyson shouted out Daryl Baum. Yeah, not since Mike Tyson shout out to my homie Daryl Baum, my brother, I miss you, man. What? Not since that era have we had a heavyweight boxer associated with people where you're like, what the hell are you doing? Is that the reason he's in Dubai? Are people here looking for him and do not care who he's connected to, Irish or not? They do not care and they are looking for him. Is that why he's had to leave? Has he had to leave because people had questions for him? I don't know. What I do know is he upped and left pretty quick. It's not like people say, oh, you know, he's moved. He's been gone a long time. All the stuff you see on his socials was all kind of content capture that was done before. It's just coming out now or is being recycled. Yeah? They're using old footage. Go and look at his socials. He's now shouting out people because he's just filling space. Mainly because I don't think he wants people to know where he is. And so a lot of it's murky. Yeah, a lot of it is murky. And if I knew everything, then I'd be on sure footing. I don't know everything. I can just tell you what's bubbling up. What's bubbling up is local mums aren't happy. They don't feel Anthony Joshua's been a force for good in the community. Read into that what you will. What I also know is in that community, a couple of the youngsters are very active in things they shouldn't be active in. And I don't think it was like that before. Make of that what you will. Now, does that create problems downstream for a heavyweight boxer? I don't know. What I'm saying to you guys is do your own research. And this is all very important because nobody's asking these questions. Isn't it interesting that not one, not Boxing King Media, not IFL, not Matchroom TV have received an opportunity to accompany Anthony Joshua as he goes back to his hometown, home estate to give back? You don't see that. Why don't you see that? Like Watford's proudest son, after Sir Elton John, apologies. Not once is it like, yo, come, let's go see the estate. Here's where I've invested. Here's what's happening. It's never on that estate. Why is that? So if you can piece together everything I am saying now, I think you understand where this is headed. And it's on you guys to be asking people like Coogan why they don't ask obvious questions. Like, why are you in Dubai? Why have you not really been in the UK since you got dropped by Dubois? And what happened the week before the fight? What happened the week before the fight in your hometown? What happened? And why are people mentioning your name in that conversation? That's what you should be pressing Coogan to be answering. That's what you should be pressing all of these guys to be asking. And when you think about all the stuff I've said now, maybe you can understand why dude ain't boxing. His head can't be in the right space. Now, has he gone to Dubai to say, guys, I need help, I need protection? I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is he left in a hurry. What I do know is this wasn't the plan a year and a half ago. And when you're that wealthy, that's normally how long it takes to plan these things out. That's what I know for certain. Whether we'll see him back in the UK again, I imagine so, because he's got the means to get in and out before people can get hold of him. Will we see him live back in the UK? Ooh, not for a while, is what I would say. Not for a while. And the real shame is, I grew up around people that had nothing. Yeah? I can take you back to Zimbabwe and show you places, and people have nothing, man. I've been around people who have nothing. I've got friends who became prostitutes in South African mines to make money. Yeah? Sold their souls to make money to buy a house in Zimbabwe. That's what I come up with. And I know once they got to a certain income level, they never slid backwards. They always looked forwards. I've never seen somebody make money outside of the street game and have such a need to be in the street game. Like, you're literally hustling backwards. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're hustling backwards. And no one's asking these questions. Like, why is this guy worth, let's just say 250 mil? Why is he here with these Scarface references all the time, then always having to appear to be some kind of gangster, when really, since you were 18, 19, you've been nothing but a dedicated boxer? Or have you? Is this a sign of that kind of sociopath kind of profile, which tends to make for good boxers? Borderline psychopath, where you can be amazing around people and kids and stuff, and then you can have those kind of Patrick Bateman type thoughts and fantasies. I don't know. Just asking questions. And you guys already know, man, from the soundboard.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
That's all I'm saying. That is all that I am saying. That is all I am saying. This has been the most surreal end to a boxer's career that I've seen in a long, long time. If he didn't have the money, this would be like Broner-ish levels of concern. Like, yo, how far off the cliff will this guy fall if he doesn't get his life together? I'm worried because I don't know everything. I know bits, and there are other bits that it's not worth talking about. I know bits, but if you live in that Hertfordshire area, that Watford area, just go and talk to the mums. Just say, how are you? How's things in the area? You'll hear it. You'll hear it. Doesn't want to talk to none of the mums. The mums were like, yo, what are you doing? It's you. No, it's not me. No, it's you. It's you and your people. What is going on here? And the mums want, they want answers. And when mums want answers, especially black mums, when black mums want answers, you don't want to be in the country. You don't. But that's a real shame. That's a real shame. It's a real shame because as it stands, it's unlikely we're going to get Fury versus Joshua. If it were to happen in the United Kingdom, I don't even know if he can. Yeah, I think he can go to the US. So is there a possibility they do it in Vegas? Maybe. But we're not going to get it here. Our fighters, our system, our money that made them. And we don't get to watch them fight and settle the score here. Because someone's been a fucking idiot. Allegedly. So all you people out there, don't ask me any further questions about this. Go do your own research. Just do it, because the more people that look into this, the better. Find people you know that are connected to those streets out there and go, what was happening before the Dubois fight? Let's talk about that. And, why is his name being mentioned in these conversations? And maybe that's why he had to go to Dubai. And that would be a real shame. That would be a real shame. But some people are just wired that way. I talked about AJ. I didn't think I was going to talk that long for it. But another thing I just want to add before I sign off. I'm absolutely delighted that Jonathan Pilates is back. He's had his first fight, stoppage. So it doesn't even matter how many rounds it went. JP, I think the only other guy that's really done that much damage to this I think he's like a Czech dude, was probably Matty Harris. And Matty Harris is like 6'10" or whatever he is. So JP, to shake off the ring rust in that kind of manner, happy for him. People will not understand what we've kind of gone through the last 5 years. There's some of it I can talk about because I know for absolute certain John agreed to fight David Adelaide during the pandemic. Like, you got to remember, he did the boxer tournament, and that went a bit wrong because he wasn't suited to it. And so they said, right, the way you're going to have to prove yourself now, if you want to stay in Frank's good graces, is to fight David Adelaide. This was during the pandemic. So they would have fought on the Joyce Dubois undercard. All right, cool. Signed up for that. Yeah. They dragged it, then said, we don't want the fight. Then it was, all right, cool. Who else can he fight? And they were picking up all these names that they were trying to get. And I think every heavyweight was offered, right? And John would have happily been the B-side on those. And they said, no, we're not fighting him. And then it was, let's fight Dominic Akinladi for the Southern area. Still during the pandemic. And I thought, okay, cool. And then you just get to a point where these fights aren't happening. And then he kind of let his license lapse while he was just building a business, really. And, he's been doing whatever he's been doing. And now he's dedicated to boxing. And one of the reasons is, and I remember John and I having this conversation, it's not like John left and all these years later there's a new breed of heavyweight that he doesn't know and who is John. It's like, if you come now, you're going to fight someone you already know for the Southern area, someone you already know for the English, someone you already know for the British, if you can get back to those levels. So there's no fear factor here. It's just about whether you can get fit and strong enough to do what you do best and learn some new tricks on the way. And so there's going to be an interesting journey to see how far this one goes. I'm not making any predictions because I know people will hold me to it, but I am just happy on a human level for what he's done. Other person I want to shout out, the young kid, Sid Shaw. You all won't know him. Sid boxes for Dale. I think it's Dale Youth he boxes for. Might be Power Day Hooks, but I wouldn't say Dale Youth. Okay? And Sid, aspirations to turn pro. We had a good conversation on Saturday about that. I wish more boxers did this. Just pick people's brains. Just gather as much knowledge as they can. Because, the stuff he was telling me, I was like, oh, okay. Because I know when people are selling young prospects the dream, and I know when they're selling the reality. Because Sid's a good guy, like size-wise, will make a good welter, good light middle. He's got that in him. But like I said to him, the end is always in the beginning. So you want to front load your success. You want to do all the really good things. Well, one of the things I did suggest to him was use this year to go and travel. Go to other gyms. Message Joe Gallagher and say, look, can I just come and just knock about for a day, man? Just be in that environment, see what that's like. Let me see where the bar is, maybe jump into a few rounds, etc. That sort of thing where they do it in America. You just get in your car and you travel. You travel, you spar, you taste every possible style. You go over to Belfast, do some rounds with Lewis Crocker. You do all of that. And if you're good, your name just bubbles in the background when you're not there. People will talk about you when you're not there. So by the time you're ready to turn over, everyone's waiting for you with open arms, like, we've been waiting for you. Not enough of that happens right now. A lot of boxers are just comfortable in their home gym and their home comforts. Is what makes our fighters soft. But I think Sid's a great kid. I want to see how his career develops. I'm wishing him all the best. Really fun, engaging young man. So that was pretty good as well. I've just seen the Moses Atama versus Jermaine Franklin card, the Magnificent Seven. That looks good. If the hotels aren't stupid, I fancy a trip up to Manchester for that one. Actually, I'd go up for that. That strikes me as something good. So, hey, anyone that's going, if there are enough numbers, we'll do a little meet-up beforehand or whatever. Only if hotels are reasonable, though. Because a lot of times I don't meet the guys up north. I'm going to see if I can drag Porky up. I know the answer to that already, but it'll be good, man. I'd like to just, I haven't been up to Manchester for the boxes since Eubank Groves, so that would be quite nice, actually. But let's see what the hotels are saying, and then let's just see what the public is saying in terms of, are they going to that? And on that note, can I tap out now and say, thanks, and you guys take care and have a great day.
I hope everybody enjoyed Terry's Take 142. I hope you liked the first 8 minutes. I found it very funny. Don't forget to give the kid a shout out and a subscribe. Boxing Uncensored YouTube. Alright, papa bang.